Good afternoon to the global community of TACCIANS all around the world, not only here in Antigua and Barbuda, but also in the Bahamas, Cayman Islands, Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, St. Kitts. We have St. Lucia, we have Dominica, we have Guyana. So yes, welcome to the community of TACCIANS this afternoon. This afternoon, as the regional director, and by the way, my name is Diana MacDonald, I am TACC Regional Director for the Caribbean. We have, as it is now, what is going on called the mass adoption period. And for this mass adoption period, a lot of new persons are now joining TACC. And because of a lot of persons are joining TACC, I guess they're taking the experience of or the mantra of join and then learn about it later. So I am really thankful that we are here this afternoon, because this afternoon we are going to share with you, especially our newbies, and this program is particularly for our newbies, to tell them or to show them what is cryptocurrency, how does it impact you, where does TACC fit into the scheme of things. You know, Bill Gates once said, the secret of getting ahead is getting started and ensuring that you get there first. Cryptocurrency, as we know it right now, is the new wave of money. And before your friends or your families or your enemies, your church members get there, the TACCIANS are there already, and we're inviting all persons to come along and be with us in this revolutionary period of money, digital currency. Cryptocurrency as we know it is new to many of us, hence the reason why this afternoon this training session is for specifically our newbies, so that they can get an idea as to what they would have invested in or what they would have received. Here in Antigua and Barbuda, we're giving a free coin to all teachers, nurses, policemen, and of course many persons are receiving that free coin, but not a lot of persons understand what that free coin is all about. So this afternoon we're here in your homes, thanking you for joining us today so that we can share more about what cryptocurrency is with you. Most of you would have seen me in your school setting. Most of you would have seen me in other settings explaining what cryptocurrency is. But of course, we've had such a short time to do so, so it's not always enough time. So because of that, that's why we're having these Sunday sessions. This afternoon, I am going to be taking over the Sunday session. Next week, again at 5 o'clock, there will be another Sunday session. Perhaps one of my Caribbean leaders will be taking that session, and we were just trying to sensitize everyone as to what cryptocurrency is. Right now in Antigua and Barbuda, there's a lot of caution going around. It was on the news and all over, and so persons are a bit skeptical as to what cryptocurrency is, because we're hearing it for the first time. In addition to that, I went to one school at a time, and one of the teachers said to me, the reason why we don't know what cryptocurrency is because we are the third to know, hence the reason why we're living in the third world countries. And that is really sad, because the developed countries are, of course, looking for legislation to implement cryptocurrency. Many companies, I researched it on the internet today, Microsoft, Amazon, Starbucks. There's so many businesses that have accepted cryptocurrency as payment. Right here in Antigua and Barbuda, we have, the Bitcoin Cash here. But yet our government, I'm so sorry, but the government and the Regulatory Commission, FFRC and the ECCB still really don't have a clue as to really what it is, because at the end of the day, they will understand that, they're calling us a security coin, We're not a security coin, we're a utility coin. And so this afternoon, I just want to share with you. I started my presentation without actually starting it. So I'd like to welcome everybody here this afternoon. I'd like to appreciate my executive on the ground here in Antigua and Barbuda. They've been working assiduously to ensure that TACC gets to the grassroots people, and that's what we want. We want TACC to reach to that little person who sells ice cream at the side of the road, make a profit of $20, but then have to spend it back in products to sell the next day. We want TACC to reach to the grassroots persons in Antigua and Barbuda, hence the reason why we are coming to you live on StreamYard today to share what is cryptocurrency. Now, to start out, I'm going to share a little video clip with you as to what cryptocurrency is and how best, well, in my opinion, it can be explained. The clip may be a little lengthy, but nonetheless, I just want us to watch it through and understand cryptocurrency explained. And of course, the grandfather of all cryptocurrency is the Bitcoin. So we use a lot of analogies of the Bitcoin because TACC is pretty much on the same path of Bitcoin. So listen to how cryptocurrency work.
Say there's a coin that's currently worth hundreds of US dollars, but it's not made of gold or platinum or any precious metal. In fact, it's not the kind of coin you can hold in your hand or stick in a piggy bank. It's a digital currency, which means it only exists electronically. I'm talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't work like most money. It isn't attached to a state or government, so it doesn't have a central issuing authority or regulatory body. Basically, that means there's no organization deciding when to make more Bitcoins, figuring out how many to produce, keeping track of where they are, or investigating fraud. So how does Bitcoin work as a currency? Or have any value at all? Well, Bitcoin wouldn't exist without a whole network of people and a little thing called cryptography. In fact, it's sometimes described as the world's first cryptocurrency, and here's how it works. Bitcoin is a fully digital currency, and you can exchange Bitcoins between computers in a worldwide peer-to-peer network. The whole point of most peer-to-peer networks is sharing stuff, like letting people make copies of super legal music or movies to download. If Bitcoin is a digital currency, what's stopping you from making a bunch of counterfeit copies and becoming fabulously wealthy? Well, unlike an MP3 or a video file, a Bitcoin isn't a string of data that can be duplicated. A Bitcoin is actually an entry on a huge global ledger called the blockchain, for reasons we'll get to in a minute. The blockchain records every Bitcoin transaction that has ever happened. And as of late 2016, the complete ledger is about 107 gigabytes of data. So when you send someone Bitcoins, it's not like you're sending them a bunch of files. Instead, you're basically writing the exchange down on that big ledger, something like Michael sends Hank 5 Bitcoins. Now, maybe you're thinking, but wait, you said that Bitcoin doesn't have a central authority to keep track of everything. Even though the blockchain is a central record, there's no official group of people who update the ledger and keep track of everybody's money like a bank does. It's decentralized. In fact, anybody can volunteer to keep the blockchain up to date with all the new transactions, and a ton of people do. It all works because there are lots of people keeping track of the same thing to make sure all transactions are accurate. Like, imagine you're playing a game of poker with some pals, but none of you have poker chips and you left your cash at home. There's no money on the table, so a few of you get out some notebooks and start writing down who bets how much, who wins, and who loses. You don't completely trust anyone else, so everyone keeps their ledgers separately. At the end of every hand, you all compare what you've written down. That way, if someone makes a mistake or tries to cheat and snag some extra money for themselves, that discrepancy is caught. After a couple of hands, you might fill up a page of your notebook with notes about the money movement. You can think of each page as a block of transactions. Eventually, your notebook will have pages and pages of information, a chain of those blocks. Hence, blockchain. Now, if thousands of people are separately maintaining the Bitcoin blockchain, how are all the ledgers kept in sync? To stick with our poker analogy, think of the entire Bitcoin peer-to-peer network as a really huge poker table with millions of people. Some are just exchanging money, but lots of volunteers are keeping ledgers. So when you want to send or receive money, you have to announce it to everyone at the table, so the people keeping track can update their ledgers. So for every transaction, you're announcing a couple of things to the Bitcoin network. Your account number, the account number of the person you're sending Bitcoins to, and how many Bitcoins you want to send. And all of the users who are keeping copies of the blockchain will add your transaction to the current block. Having a bunch of people keep track of transactions seems like a pretty good security measure. But if all all it takes to send bitcoins is a couple of account numbers, that seems like it might be a security problem. It's a huge problem with regular money. Just think of all the ways criminals try to steal other people's credit card information. And with Bitcoin, there's no central bank to notice anything weird going on to shut down fraud, like if it looked like suddenly you spent your entire life savings on beef jerky. So what's stopping Hank from pretending he's me and just sending himself all of my bitcoins? Bitcoins are kept pretty safe thanks to cryptography, which is why it's considered a cryptocurrency. Specifically, Bitcoin stays secure because of keys, which are basically chunks of information that can be used to make mathematical guarantees about messages, like, hey, this is really from me. When you create an account on the Bitcoin network, which you might have heard called a wallet, that account is linked to two unique keys, a private key and a public key. In this case, the private key can take some data and basically mark it, also known as signing it, so that other people can verify those signatures later if they want. So let's say I want to send a message to the network that says, Michael sends 3 bitcoins to Olivia. I sign that message using my private key, which only I have access to and nobody else can replicate. Then I send that signed message out to the Bitcoin network, and everyone can use my public key to make sure my signature checks out. That way, everyone keeping track of all the Bitcoin trading knows to add my transaction to their copy of the blockchain. In other words, if the public key works, that's proof that the message was signed by my private key and is something I wanted to send. Unlike a handwritten signature or a credit card number, this proof of identity isn't something that can be faked by a scam artist. The who part of each transaction is obviously important to make sure the right people are swapping Bitcoins, but the when matters as well. If you had $1,000 in your bank account, for example, and tried to buy 2 things for $1,000 each, the bank would honor the first purchase and deny the second one. If the bank didn't do that, you'd be able to spend the same money multiple times, which might sound awesome, but it's also terrible. A financial system can't work like that because no one would get paid. So if I only have enough money to pay Olivia or Hank, but I try to pay them both, there's a check built into the Bitcoin system. Both the Bitcoin network and your wallet automatically check your previous transactions to make sure you have enough Bitcoins to send in the first place. But there's another problem that might happen with time. Because lots of people are keeping copies of the blockchain all over the world, network delays means that you won't always receive the transaction requests in the same order. So now you've got a bunch of people with a bunch of slightly different blocks to pick from, but none of them are necessarily wrong. Okay, Bitcoin, how do you solve that problem? It turns out it's by actually solving problems. Math problems. To add a block of transactions to the chain, each person maintaining a ledger has to solve a special kind of math problem created by a cryptographic hash function. A hash function is an algorithm that takes an input of any size and turns it into an output with a fixed size. For example, let's say you had this string of numbers as your input, and our example hash function says to add all of the numbers together. So in this case, the output would be 10. What makes hash functions really good for cryptography is that when you're given an input, it's really easy to find the output, but it's really hard to take an output and figure out the original input. Even in this super simple example, there are lots of strings of numbers that add up to 10. The only way to figure out that the input was 1, 2, 3, 4 is to just guess until you get it right. Now the hash function that Bitcoin uses is called SHA-256, which stands for Secure Hash Algorithm 256-bit, and it was originally developed by the United States National Security Agency. Computers that were specifically designed to solve SHA-256 hash problems take, on average, about 10 minutes to guess the solution to each one. That means they're churning through billions and billions of guesses before they get it right. Whoever solves the hash first gets to add the next block of transactions to the blockchain, which then generates a new math problem that needs to be solved. If multiple people make blocks at roughly the same time, the network picks one to keep building upon, which becomes the longest and most trusted chain. And any transactions in those alternate branches of the chain get put back into a pool to be added onto later blocks. These volunteers spend thousands of dollars on special computers built to solve SHA-256 problems and run their electricity bills up sky high to keep those machines running. But why? What do they get out of maintaining the blockchain? Is it just community service? Well, Bitcoin actually has a built-in system to reward them. Today, every time you win the race to add a block to the blockchain, 12.5 new Bitcoins are created out of thin air and awarded to your account. In fact, you might know the Bitcoin ledger keepers by another name, miners. That's because keeping the blockchain updated is like swinging a proverbial pickaxe at those hash problems, hoping to strike it rich. When Bitcoins were first created in 2009, they didn't really have any perceived value. Tens of Bitcoins would have been worth the same as a bunch of pennies. As of November 10th, 2016, though, 1 Bitcoin is worth $708 US, so 12.5 Bitcoins are worth $8,850. That's a nice chunk of change. Every single Bitcoin that exists was created to reward a Bitcoin miner. Besides the big payout when they add a new block of transactions, miners are also essentially tipped a very small amount for each transaction they add to the ledger. It's also worth noting that every 210,000 blocks, the number of coins generated when a new block is added goes down by half. So what started as a reward of 50 Bitcoins decreased to 25, then 12.5, and it'll only be around 6 bitcoins in a couple more years, and keep decreasing. Eventually, there will be so many transactions in a block that it'll still be worthwhile for miners to mostly be paid in tips. According to current projections, the last bitcoin, probably around the 21 millionth coin, will be mined in the year 2140. This decreasing number of bitcoins is actually modeled off the rate at which things like gold are dug out of the earth. And the idea is that keeping the supply of bitcoins limited will raise their value over time. So, is investing in Bitcoin a good idea? Now that's not really a SciShow kind of question. Bitcoin is still volatile and experimental. A lot of people love it, and a lot of people think it's doomed to fail. We just think it's an interesting idea, and it makes us wonder what cryptography might do for us next. Thanks for watching this episode of SciShow, brought to you by our patrons on Patreon. If you want to help support the show, just go to patreon.com/SciShow, and don't forget to go to YouTube.
All right, thank you so much for watching that. Like I said, it was a bit lengthy. However, I think it went into quite a bit detail as to what cryptocurrency is. I'm not sure if everyone got to see that video. It's saying stream is unavailable. So I'm not sure what is going on, but I'm streaming and it is recording. So perhaps for those who cannot hear it, that you will look at it a little later. Okay, so right away you see that cryptocurrency is built on blockchain technology, and blockchain technology is created by cryptographic messages or codes that are built over time. So every time that you have a transaction, a block is created, an algorithm of numbers. And of course, in order for somebody to get to your wallet, obviously they will have to know how to get past those blocks. So it is a beautiful technology that is out there right now in terms of cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, so much so. We know that governments around the world are looking at blockchain technology to secure real estate, their tax system as well, because blockchain technology is one of the most secured technology that you have coming out in this fourth industrial revolution of things, where artificial intelligence, robotics, and cryptocurrency are taking over our world. So now that we have discussed what is cryptocurrency, we can now move on to the history of, let's say, Bitcoin, rather. The history of Bitcoin. Now, as we know, Bitcoin came out just about 10 or 11 years ago. And when Bitcoin was there, a lot of persons did not believe in it. But as I travel every day and as I speak to persons, I have to say, you know, sometimes the little child shall lead us. Well, not sometimes. Apparently it happens all the time, because there's so many things to learn or to glean from children. But they are lessons to be learned. So we have the story of one Eric Finman 9 years ago, when everybody was saying all negatives about Bitcoin, about cryptocurrency, about anything that had to do with money that is not something familiar to them. You had somebody giving away Bitcoin for 2 boxes of pizza. He didn't know what he was doing, because at the end of the day, if he knew that Bitcoin today would have been almost it might be $55,000, maybe $60,000. I am thinking that he would not have given away that money. And then we have Mr. Eric Finman. Let me play Eric Finman's story for you at this time, and you can let me know if you're seeing it or not. I think the first one did not go through very well. I'm not sure. But yeah, let's listen to Eric Finman's story with regards to cryptocurrency. He's a high school dropout.
I think it's a wonderful time to buy Bitcoin. You can actually buy a fraction of a Bitcoin, so you don't have to go in and buy $10,000 plus on a whole coin. But you can actually just buy $100, $50 worth of a Bitcoin. It'd be a great stocking stuffer.
So do you try, Eric, to figure out what it should be worth? Do you have any sense that, holy cow, this thing's up so much, I'm just going to cash it in and sit on my gains here? Or do you think, as we've heard some people say, it could go to $100,000 or $1 million?
I mean, I think cryptocurrency, and thus Bitcoin, is really the future of the financial system and the future of currency. So I try to avoid taking as much out as I can. I really don't want to do that. Whenever I sell a little bit of Bitcoin or pay for something in Bitcoin, I multiply that price by 10 because that's where I think that Bitcoin's going. And I think it's going to be huge, and I think it's going to be incredible. So I try not to take out any. I try to really avoid that.
So you made this bet with your parents that if you were 18 and a millionaire, they wouldn't force you to go to college, right? Which turned out pretty well.
Yeah,
as it sounds.
yeah.
But what happens if this thing now craters, goes to zero, what the case may be? What is your fallback plan now?
I mean, I'm heavily diversified in other cryptocurrencies. I'm diversified outside of cryptocurrencies, but I really do have a lot betting on Bitcoin because I really do firmly Bitcoin to me, it's not just an investment. It's not just maybe a get-rich-quick scheme, as a lot of people put it, but I see it as the future of currency. I see it as the future of the financial system. So I think that's where it is, and I think the icing on the cake is that it's a great investment. So I think that's what it's really backed by, and that's what I have a lot of faith and belief in.
Eric, it's heaven, and I guess congratulations for making a lot of money for seeing something or investing quite early in the cycle. What if tomorrow every government in the world viewed cryptocurrencies as a threat to actually their own currency and just outlawed them? What asset? If they said to you, Eric, that's fine, but next time we catch you trading your Bitcoin, we're going to put you in jail. Not that I think that is exactly the way it would happen. What value would the cryptocurrency then have in your mind?
So yeah, I mean, this has happened before with, there was like Liberty Dollars or Liberty Coins in 2006, and a guy created his own currency, and he was prosecuted for that. But that's why Bitcoin was so amazing, and Bitcoin is so incredible when it came out, and why I saw it as more than just another currency, because people have tried to create their own currencies and they end up getting banned before, is the technology that Bitcoin is built off of. The blockchain technology that Bitcoin is built off of means that it's controlled by no one, you can't shut down anyone, and it can exist even if every government in the world banned it. So obviously I think the price would go down if every government in the world banned it, which is unrealistic, but I understand just for the situation, and it is a possibility for sure. But I mean, the beauty of the technology is that it can exist purely if every government in the world banned it, and even thrive. As you see in China, they banned a lot of stuff like that, a lot of banned the Bitcoin exchanges and all that, and Bitcoin is still actually being used in China, and that's what's so beautiful about Bitcoin and the technology itself.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on.
All right, so that is our video there on the world youngest millionaire. His name is Eric Finman. Now I think I need to do a little house cleaning here. Some persons say that they're not seeing the video. It's playing beautiful on my computer. I don't know why that is, but if you're having that trouble, just pen me a little note, and perhaps after the meeting you could probably go back and look at it a little bit, because it's really distracting me, because persons are calling, so I'm not sure why we're not seeing the video. I'm not seeing anything down here that's saying that it's not showing, so and I'm seeing it, so I'm not exactly sure what's happening. If it's the computer, I see somebody said now got it, so I'm hoping that everyone would have seen the previous videos. If not, you can always just reflect on it. It will always be there. Once you click on the link, that will be there. All right, so let's continue. There we had Eric Finman, who is, of course, at the time when everybody was saying not to get involved in cryptocurrency, decided to take that $1,000 that his grandma gave to him, and he's a high school dropout, of course, and she gave it to him to continue his education. And she said to him, listen, if by the age of 18 that you don't become a millionaire, then she wants back her $1,000. But sadly, not sadly, but grateful, he did become a millionaire because he invested into Bitcoin. At that time, of course, just like what we're experiencing right now in Antigua, a lot of persons are saying, caution, don't do it, don't stay away from it. But listen, cryptocurrency has passed the test of time. There is no rolling back. It's only that we're going forward. And in TACC, we like to say we're going uphill. The idea of TACC in terms of helping persons invest in cryptocurrency is to alleviate poverty from amongst us. I mean, come on, we go to work, we come home, the paycheck is not even able. I've been around to so many schools this week, and every teacher testified that the paycheck after they would have gotten it is finished within an hour. Moreover, it finishes before you even receive it. And so what other avenue can you actually get into that will help you assist you financially? One of the sad things about our schools is that they don't really teach investment. They don't teach how to invest, the stock market, how to trade. And interestingly, that is where the world is going now. We have young people here amongst us who, of course, they're becoming billionaires from within their bedrooms just by a cell phone. And if that is not remarkable, to tell the least, why we should just run to cryptocurrency, I don't know what else is, because the fiat system as we know it, we know the fiat system, we know that they're accustomed of using the fiat system, but guess what? We still no longer use the $2. We even do away with the 1 cent and the 2 cents already. So where do you think we're going? We're going digital. Hence the reason why even here in Antigua, the ECCB has now come out with the DigiCash. And DigiCash and cryptocurrency is not the same. But I guess ECCB is saying to us, take caution, we will take you through. But these same ECCB, when you go to them, the banking rules, the loans and the banking rules, I mean, every time you have a little $50 there, by the time the end of the month is finished, because it's taken up with all the fees that you have to pay from time to time. So the banking rules has not helped us over the years. In fact, it is a system that has caused more poverty than wealth. And if we allow ourselves to let them guide us, then we will stay in poverty. Our generation will be in poverty for the rest of their lives. Hence the reason why we're telling you to open your eyes and see the vision and the mission of TACC or any other cryptocurrency, because cryptocurrency can change lives. Look at Eric Finman. He was a high school dropout. He dropped out of high school, but yet he's now a millionaire. And it didn't happen by him having to go out to work 9 to 5 to work in, the grind. In other words, he didn't have to be a part of the grind, and yet he has shown us how we can make it in this fourth industrial revolution of things. And if we don't wake up, if we don't take these things seriously, we will understand that we're going to be left on the side. Now look at the post office. Look what email did to the post office. Do you still go to the post office to post a letter? I asked you the question. Do you still go to the post office to post a letter? No, you don't. It means that time has evolved and it's continually evolving. Look at shopping. Most persons, they love to go to all the online stores that you have. Most persons don't even go down to town. Right now, I mean, I know it's COVID time, but it's pretty scarce down there in terms of people and population. Persons don't shop, walk into stores unless it's urgent. We have to run to go get something. But many persons rather shop online and bring it, and that has happened over the last 10 years. The multiplicity of it has just maximized. Everybody is now going online. Everybody wants now to go digital. Therefore, cryptocurrency isn't any different. Cryptocurrency is making your money digital. And of course, once we go on the coin exchange, that is TACC, and we already heard that the date is not announced for the official launch, because we are working with a government entity at the moment. But once we go on the market, your coin now becomes money, and there is nothing, the central bank, governments, they can do to prevent that. Just like Eric Finman say, even if all the governments in the world ban it, it will still exist. And I want persons to understand that. Even if everybody bans it, it will still exist because there's so much different prior to this session. And one of the Expedia, you can now use your cryptocurrency to buy plane tickets. You can use your cryptocurrency to book rooms. You can use your cryptocurrency at Starbucks to get coffee, to go to McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, Outpost. I mean, all these different companies are using cryptocurrency, and that is the way the world is going. So never mind what is being said out there on the World Wide Web. Never mind what is being said out there in Antigua and Barbuda right now. There's absolutely nothing that they can do to stop it. Let me share, and I hope this video shows, but let me share with you what one of the congressmen on the cabinet in America had to say about cryptocurrency. I hope that this shows. Okay, what he had to say. And of course, we should all just take note of what he had to say. He said, you know what? You can't stop it. It's an innovation that you can't stop. We just have to accept it. Listen to what he says.
But let's face it. Let's be honest. It's Facebook. And I'm skeptical. But we can either make you a political talking point, or we can choose to conduct thoughtful governmental oversight. That's my hope for this day, is its thoughtful government oversight. The reality is, whether Facebook is involved or not, change is here. Digital currencies exist. Blockchain technology is real. And Facebook's entry in this new world is just confirmation, albeit at scale. The world that Satoshi Nakamoto, author of the Bitcoin white paper, envisioned, and others are building, is an unstoppable force. We should not attempt to deter this innovation, and governments cannot stop this innovation, and those that have tried have already failed. So the question then becomes, what are American policymakers going to do to meet the challenges and the opportunities of this new world of innovation?
And indeed, it is a new world of innovation. That's what it is now. That's what it is. So therefore, congressmen are saying, listen, what are we going to do? Are we going to join them? Well, they say, there's an old saying that says, well, if you can't beat them, you join them. And I'm advising Antiguan government and all the governments around the Caribbean, you won't be able to stop this innovation. It is for real. And I know we have an issue because it's decentralized. It's not controlled by governments. It's not controlled by the central bank. Everything is in the cloud, and I'm really appreciate the owner of Bitcoin for doing this, so that inequality can be erased from amongst us. Here in Antigua, we speak of, the ECCB talking about caution, and the FFRC saying caution, and everybody is saying caution. But on the other hand, look at what Beckway is saying, and Beckway is just a stone throw from us in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Look at what they are saying with regards to cryptocurrency. Look at it. It says here, a Caribbean island could become the first place in the world to use Bitcoin instead of money. And what Caribbean island is that? Beckway. Beckway. So as close as Beckway is to us, Trinidad, they use it down there, Barbados, they're using down there. Why is it so unreal for persons to understand that it is now going to be a part of us? And look at Beckway. On the other hand, we have, even in Antigua here, we have Antigua and Barbuda Citizen by Investment Program, Antigua and Barbuda Citizen by Investment Program to accept payment in cryptocurrencies and euros. What is that saying? What is that saying, everyone? it says that we are getting there. But you know, the secret of getting ahead is getting there first. And like I've always tell persons, secret of getting ahead, make sure that you get there first. You get there first, you're in line for something big. Antigua and Barbuda, I'm sharing this screen with you. I hope everyone can see it. Citizen by Investment Program to accept payment in cryptocurrencies. So while some persons will say caution, yet they are accepting cryptocurrencies for Citizen by Investment Program. So I'm a bit confused there as to the narrative, but I guess we'll all see how this would eventually play out in due time. In the meanwhile, however, TACC is here to change lives. TACC is here to make your life better. And I always tell persons every day, all the time, I said, listen, if you invest in TACC, now that it's cheap to do so, meaningfully, and I say meaningfully because, you know, if you just have one coin or two coin, I mean, when TACC hits whatever it will hit in the next 5 years, you only have one or two. So you have to take out those two in order to deal with your business and you know, your personal little things. But if you have enough coins, let's say if you have 100 coins, you can take out 10. When it reaches 10,000, that's 100,000 right there. Do your little business and then, of course, leave the rest to go up. I remember someone said to me, they did not believe that Bitcoin will make it to 20,000 to 60,000 as it is today. Hence the reason, when Bitcoin was $20,000 per coin, a lot of persons withdrew their money. And you know, they withdrew their money of fear that the system will not work. However, today it is worth twice as much, 2.5% more than it is worth then. Now, had they had that vision to see exactly where cryptocurrency will take them, they would have hanged in there a little while longer. I am absolutely sure of it. So cryptocurrency can change your world. Hence the reason why I can't help but use Antigua as an example because, you know, it is amongst the elites. They have their wallets. China uses cryptocurrency right here to buy their to do their business. But yet, to the poor class, to the middle class, they're saying caution. My advice to you today is caution or not, do your research. Do your research. See how cryptocurrency can benefit you and your family and the next generation and the next generation to come. TACC is a cryptocurrency, the abundance community coin. And in this community, we help each other. So there are lots of things that are going to be taking place in TACC once we go to the market. However, don't for one moment think that you'll be left there on your own to figure this thing out on your own. That's why we have our radio and we have our television station right on the website. And I must interject here. If you happen to go on the website and you're having any issues at all, remember the website is being worked upon in the background for the changes that are to come. Hence the reason why sometimes you will have little glitches. So all we're doing is really saying, listen, sometimes if you go now, it doesn't happen, you know, just try back again in an hour or two, a half an hour, the next day. And I'm sure the feature that you want will be available. Like for instance, I know persons were telling me the KYC wasn't working or whatever. And of course, in discussion with our CEO, Mr. Abundance, he said, Diana, there's a lot going on in the background so that when time comes for the verification of your accounts, all the accounts that we're now creating, it will be a smooth flow. In fact, normally for verification purposes, they will ask for like a driver's license and a passport. But because we're dealing with grassroots persons, there are other forms of verification that we'll be implementing into the software as well to ensure that persons can have access to what they have invested. So there are lots of things going on in the background. Don't forget that we're going to be having our app with our QR code, our Visa cards. So there are lots of things that are happening in the background with TACC. Ensure that when TACC rises from the bottom of the sea, that you are positioned to become a millionaire. Or positioned, if not a millionaire, let's say financially free. Because at the end of the day, that is what we all seek. We seek financial freedom. Anytime that you're not financially free, according to our esteemed leader, you are a global slave. You have to slave for that fiat, slave for it every day. Okay? We want to be financial free, not only just for our generation, but generations to come. We want to be able to build a legacy, and we want to write our history in the corridors of time, because TACC was here. The great historians 30 years, 40 years, 50 years from now will write about the model that TACC has presented to the world. Hence the reason why we always say TACC to the world. And TACC is going uphill. And let me tell you, TACC is reaching places that Bitcoin has not gone. I've heard Mr. Abundance say Bitcoin or no other cryptocurrency have had the endorsement of a government. And let me explain the difference. Being endorsed by the government is not being controlled by the government. But having that endorsement means that within that place, wherever it is around the world, we still don't know yet, but wherever it is, that place means that you'll be able to spend cryptocurrency like money, and TACC will be used for their Federal Reserve. Persons have to understand the power and the impact that that is having on TACC. Not even Bitcoin has acquired such. And hence the reason why we say a greater than Bitcoin is here. When Bitcoin rises from the ashes, when TACC rises from the bottom of the sea, ensure that you are on board, ensure that you are a part of it, because 10 years from now, you do not want to look back in regret. There's so many persons I've spoken to over, and every day I go out to do TACC, I have seen countless persons, and every time there's someone who missed the opportunity of investing in Bitcoin. Every day. Do not look 10 years from now and be that individual who regret because you're listening to the media, the news, the Don't be that person who will regret having not invested. And right amongst us here, we have Prosperous Prince from out of England. His friend is living good, but he isn't, because he just didn't take Bitcoin seriously. I have friends who invested, yes, but they can't find their passwords. I mean, take TACC seriously. It is moving mountains. It is creating waves in with our global present. TACC is moving uphill indeed, and we will overcome. All I want you to do is to think it and dream it. Hence the reason why our thought is, our theme, dream and become. Whatever you want to be, whatever that daughter, that son, that grandchild wants to become, they can become. I mean, I said to some persons I was presenting to just on Friday, I said, you know what? When I came home from college, I had all my education, of course. And today I have a master's degree and I'm still not employed. Well, I have my own business, but still. Before I got to that point, you seek employment. And I could not find a piece of land. Just a piece of land, a piece of my own rock. I just couldn't have an opportunity. I went to, the shop, and you wait. And I had to end up going and buy private land. I don't want my children to be in that same shoe. I don't want them to have to be starting from grounds up. I want to leave them comfortable enough that they can now take care of themselves financially, and they don't have to be begging Peter, Paul, or Jane, or going to the banks and saying, you can't get a loan because your salary is not enough, or you can't get that piece of land because all the Caucasians, the Syrians, and the Chinese already have them. Nah, no, people, we have to turn things around in this country of ours called Antigua. So this afternoon, I'd just like to thank you so much for being a part of this training session. Remember, for all the newbies, you need to check your emails. And let me go through those steps with you. To check your emails. Oh, first, let me talk about how cryptocurrency is controlled. It's not controlled by nobody. No government, no financial regulatory commission can control it. I think they have a problem with that. But I did mention that earlier, that is not controlled by anyone. It is digital money, and money that can be spent. Of course, when you transfer it from your wallet, your online wallet, to your bank, of course, they may find a way to tax you there. But outside of that, no, they can't. So be encouraged by that, no matter what you hear. Remember, a lot of persons listened to the media 10 years ago, and now 10 years after, they regretted. And the persons who can now afford it at 50 something thousand US dollars for one Bitcoin, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, all of them, Fidelity Investment, they're all now pouring their monies into it. Don't be caught with your pants down. All right. So again, to all the newbies amongst us, I just want to express to you, thanking you so much for receiving our gift, or for accepting our gift of one TACC. On some persons, of course, because their schools have sponsored, they have 2 TACC. Once you would have received your email, and sometimes your email don't go to the regular email because we're not part of your contact, so you might have to go to the junk mail, you may have to go to the your spam to look for the email. But once you have gotten that email, then you will now proceed with the instructions in the email to go to your wallet. A lot of persons are questioning how to sign up other persons, like for instance your family members, your friends, your enemy, your colleagues, everybody. And of course, we want everybody to be a part of TACC, because don't fool yourself. This is a numbers game. The more persons you have using the coin, the better the coin appreciates. And we need to understand that. It doesn't matter how much coins you have in your wallet, and if you're sitting there not sharing it, it is not going to do anything good for you if you don't have the numbers. Not you individually, but holistically. As a TACC community, we need numbers. Once you get that email, you will now go into your email, follow the instructions, and look into your wallet. And perhaps you can send back a little email to the TACC account and say, you know what, I received my coin. And of course, you want to reach out to anyone else. You may do so via WhatsApp. You may reach out to me at any time if you need more information. I was saying to you that if you want to register any other family member, as it were, or there is a link. Sadly, though, the referral link is not available, no longer available on the site. However, if you want to sign up any family member by using your link, because that is very important as well, using your link to sign up your family members, just reach out to me. I will send a link for you where you can create your link. So we can actually create links, and that can be used to sign up your family members. It is very important, because at the end of the day now, you don't want to have $1 million. You're going to still have to spend it with them. So it's good if you teach them to fish instead of giving them the fish, if you understand what I'm saying. All right. So I just want to thank you again for being here. Cryptocurrency is here to stay. It is not going anywhere. It will always be a part of us. It will soon take over, just like email has taken over the post office work, just like Uber has taken over the taxi service, just like Facebook has taken over the communication channels, and Instagram and TikTok and everybody else, just like Amazon has taken over for shopping, Walmart, Allmart, Zoop Online, they have taken it all over. Money too is evolving, and it's evolving at a very fast pace. Please note, and we know this, COVID came, and of course the pandemic is all around us, but there are businesses that exist pre-COVID that would not exist post-COVID. Drive around St. John's, you can actually see that. There are places that are just closing down. Left, right, and center, and we have to understand that we're just living in a very difficult time. And so therefore, because we're living in a very difficult time, we have to look for other opportunities to make money. And like I said to a group of teachers on Friday, I said, you know what, even if you go home, you work, you get your salary, even the sidekick can't make it. The extra cake baking or the extra juice making or whatever your special talents might be. Sometimes you recognize I mean, the profit alone they make from that is so minimal that you just turn it right back around. And sometimes you're wondering, wait, does this really make sense? Let us take a page out of the book of Eric Finman. Let's take a page out of the book of those who have become billionaires and millionaires at this time because of cryptocurrency. They invest smart. And I'm asking everybody to do the same this afternoon. Be smart. Millionaires, you know what? I have to share this with you. You know, when we were going to school, they taught us to go to school, get a good education, so that you can get a job. But there's something wrong between getting a job and being financially free. Because that stage of time, no matter how much job you have and how much education you have, or if you don't know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, that just doesn't happen. The financial freedom, it doesn't happen. And so there is something, I keep on saying, there's something wrong with the system. There is just something wrong, because at the end of the day, we still do it. We send our kids to school, get good grades so you can get this, but they get the job. And then what? Do you become a millionaire by working? Most of people don't, actually. So there is something missing. And that missing thing is we need to teach our young ones, we need to teach our friends, our families, our children investment. And of course, you know, everything in life, there is a risk. But with cryptocurrency, the risk, with TACC, there's no risk. So there's none. Imagine you buy a coin right now for 25 cents, and when we go to the market, it's going at $1, which means you would have made 300% on that investment. There's no risk. So it may come down, though. It may come down. But trust me, with all the plans that TACC has, it's going to go up. It's only upward. Upward, ever forward. Up will we go. Thank you again for joining me this afternoon. My name is Diana McDonald. I am the Regional Director. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for all your suggestions. I'm reading some stuff here. I can barely see. I don't have on my glasses. I shouldn't say that out loud, right? But yeah. All right. Miss Williamson, she says, hi. Nerl, he is the advisor to the... Hello, everyone. Welcome to the House of TACCIANS. He's the advisor to the local Antiguan executive that we have here, Miss Joan Brittany. She also is another advisor to our executive. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, yes, that's the one who's telling me the stream were unavailable. All right. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Pat Lou. Good afternoon, everyone. Pat Lou of Antigua, standing strong with TACC. And that's what we want. No matter what they say, they can bring out a letter. They can put it on the news. Stand strong with TACC. All right? Rihanna Joseph is saying, oh, got it. I guess she said that meant she got the video it was now showing. Cryptocurrency will do to the banks what email has done to the post office. And that is so true. I can share even an experience with you. I remember when we first started out in our journey here in cryptocurrency, we used to take, our investments to a particular financial institution. And I guess, they got a little antsy because one of the tellers' response was, if this continues the way it is right now, I will be out of a job. Take note, people. They don't want you to be out. They don't want you to be financially free. Oh. That's why they're saying caution. Caution. All right, so let me see all the other comments that we have here. Colette Colborn, yes, that's the Assistant National Executive Director for Antigua. Good afternoon, Madam McDonald, and to the House. Knowledge is power. It is indeed. We have Francis Taylor. He is the National Executive Coordinator for the Bahamas. And they didn't have a problem with their education system down there. They're rolling with their schools. I'm so appreciative of that, Mr. Taylor. And welcome to the House. Mr. Keith Athenas, thanks for the education. You are welcome. And remember, every Sunday we will meet at 5. And we will be here to share more of what TACC is doing and more about cryptocurrency, so persons can understand that cryptocurrency is not a fly-by-night. And I keep on telling persons it's not a susu, it's not a pyramid scheme, it is here to stay. Just like the grandfather of all cryptocurrencies has made it, TACC will even make it, and make it even better than Bitcoin. Veronica Abraham says the person that created Bitcoin knew what they were doing by disappearing. You're right. He had to, because trust me, he's going against the tide of the elites, and that is not something easy to do. Even Mr. Abundance had told me, from time to time, his security is tight. You just don't know what will happen. So I'm encouraging all of us to pray so that we can all rise out of this thing together. All right. Veronica says no owner. Sakamoto. All right. Our money. Okay. And our last comment here just got mine. Oh, awesome. Congratulations. So I'm thanking everybody. Let me tell you, every Sunday we'll be here at 5. So please invite your friends, invite your loved ones, especially the newbies. I want the newbies to be more a part of this for the reason of, they're new with cryptocurrency. And of course, as soon as they walk down the road, somebody's telling me, "Hey, what the news say? You better take note. You hope you then not run with him." No. I live in Antigua. So trust me, I have a reputation to protect. And my credibility is very high. So I have kids as well. So I do not want anything to happen to them or me. And trust me, the mere fact that I'm here showing my face, like Mr. Abundance always say, TACC has a face. Appreciate that. We have face, and because you know why we have a face? Because we are so positive as to what TACC is about to do to the world. We are positive. We believe it. All right. And of course, even in our own little sphere, in our own little world, we know what we're experiencing. And we know we want what TACC is giving to us. Take it, my brother. Take it, my sister. And dream and become. This is Dinah McDonald. I'd like to appreciate our CEO, Mr. Steve Williams, at this time for coming up with such a mission and such a vision, and still at the same time being a son of the soil and Antiguan brethren from Old Road. Power. All right, I'd like to appreciate my local executive who has joined me, and all the other leaders from around the Caribbean who has joined me this afternoon for this training session. Indeed, it was a joy to be in your space, and I look forward again to seeing you next week. At 5. It may not be me who's been doing the training, but of course, some one of our leaders. But whatever it is, look out for the link and share this link with your friends so that they'll be able, those just in case they missed it, they'll be able to join or watch it even after the broadcast is over. All right. So do have a wonderful afternoon, and let me leave this quote for you. If you fail to fight for what you want, then what you don't want will take over. Peace. Good afternoon.